Welcome back to the Top 14 Digest. In this week's show, we'll be talking about the defeats that La Rochelle and Toulouse suffered in the Champions Cup this weekend and asking the question, is the French grip on Europe starting to fade? And then we'll be turning our attention to the thrilling victory for UBB to maybe ask, seems all right so far. Anyway, let's start the show. Bonsoir, everybody. Bienvenue. Je m'appelle Huw. Welcome back to the Top 14 Digest, your weekly short-ish podcast capturing all of the news and results in the mad world of French rugby, as well as getting up to date on all of the gossip. I am not on my own. I am joined, as always, by my co-host from the Atlantic Coast, Madame Maz Mac. Bonsoir, Maz.
Bonsoir, Huw. How are you?
I'm okay. I haven't pre-planned any banter this week, but it's cold still. It's not as cold as before. You're not snowed into You're not snowed into your hotel this week.
No, I'm not. No, I got out after I was there almost 3 days. Yeah, got out on the third day. Oh God.
So
Yeah,
You're back in your snazzy new angle that you only started doing before Christmas.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I've actually got a load of photos enlarged and framed and things like that. Except Mr. Mac he has to do the DIY bit.
Oh,
I'm
he
not
has to
allowed to
put them
do.
up. Yeah.
I'm not allowed to do that.
What you'll find behind all of the pictures that are put up in my house is that you'll find the hole where the nail in the hanger is in, but then you'll also find another hole, maybe slightly lower down and to the left of that, where I've hung it and it's not looked right, so I've had to hang it again and then hide the hole with the picture itself.
Yeah, there's a bit of that going on. Yeah, here there's quite a few pictures all over. This side is kind of rugby prints and things like that, and some motorbike stuff. And one day I'm going to have to move to the other end of the table so you can see the other.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that then. Anyway, let's get straight on with
Yeah.
it with the scores on 14. So a reminder how this works. We only cover the Champions Cup because we can't do the Challenge Cup. We can't talk about all 14 teams, all 14 games. We're not going to do that.
Oh,
The show is broken into segments. We're going to be working our way through the segments, and we're focusing, like I said, on the Champions Cup for the top 14 side. So let's get straight on with reeling off the results. So Cast went down quite meekly at home to Bath, 20 points to 43. Cast not really trying in this
no.
competition this year. Glasgow got a very impressive win away to Claremont. Now, Claremont have lost both of their home games in the Champions Cup so far this season.
Uh-huh.
And we are a French show, Maz, but Mr. Mac, being a proud Glaswegian, must be very happy with how they're going.
Oh, he is. He's absolutely thrilled. And he wasn't at it. He normally goes to all the Warriors games if they are playing in France. He wasn't at this one. But yeah, and they play lovely rugby, don't they, Glasgow? Oh, they scored some beautiful tries. Yeah. Stein got a double.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was, yeah, no, they were in top form. Top form. It's even with Claremont not being in top gear kind of thing, it's still a hard place to get a win. And it's cold and bitterly cold over there. So no, they've done well, Warriors. Yeah,
Well, I
very
think Glasgow
impressed
are
with
probably
them.
okay with the cold, but
True.
Glasgow getting 2 yellow cards, I think, made the game interesting. But you're so right. The Glasgow are a fantastic team to watch. I'm planning on writing something about them. I was going to do it this week, but I think I've run out of time. But anyway, Leinster versus La Rochelle, we should come back to because that's our game of the week. Some team I've never heard of called the Scarlets lost at home to Section Palois. Have you seen? I've got my hoodie on, Maz.
Oh, yes, you have. Yes, it's very
My
nice.
Section Palois
Mm.
hoodie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scarlets. What kind of idiot would support them? Leicester Tigers defeated Bayonne, also not trying. Toulon
Mm.
versus Munster, we should be talking about later in the show, but they won 27 points to 25 in a totally not controversial way at all. UBB thrashed Northampton Saints. We were all worried that UBB were going to lose that. We shall be coming back to that one later on in the show. And we shall also be talking at some length about Saracens defeating Stade Toulouse. Who knows what regular section that Toulouse will be popping up in this week, Maz. But let's start off with our game of the week, which was Leinster versus La Rochelle. And Maz, they finally did it. They made a Leinster fan of you.
They did. They did. I live quite near La Rochelle, all 60 kilometers away. So the town I live in, they're all absolutely fanatic La Rochelle fans. So the neighbors all asked me out for a drink. I was very like, oh, are you sure about this? And it is the one day a year that I will support the boys in blue. Oh, it was tense. It was very, 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 very tense. I can tell you, watching that game with La Rochelle supporters, right up until the 82nd minute. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't. How can you say the best game of rugby? I mean, there was an awful lot of mistakes by both sides and knock-ons and errors and things like that. But you were really enthralled. You were grabbed into it, weren't you? And you just couldn't stop watching it once you started.
Certainly. And this is it was I have to eat a bit of humble pie because I said Leinster fans, I don't know what you're getting so worked up about. La Rochelle aren't even good anymore. And then they go and play like this. By far, La Rochelle's best performance of the season, Maz. By far.
Oh, by far. And it must be something got to do with the Champions Cup over the years and things like that. Although we had both said that Leinster aren't great this season and they had a lot of injuries, but still I was expecting them to win. I think in my Super Brew I had Leinster by 15.
Yeah.
Something like that. And so no, they did play out their skin, La Rochelle. They really did. And especially after 10 minutes, they were 2 tries down. Kenny had a double.
Mm.
And did they miss both conversions? No, they got one of the conversions. And you were kind of thinking, okay, is this the way that the game's going to go? Is it going to be something like, 30-0 at half time and things like that? But one of our favourites, Nini Fishili, he got his try in the 30th minute to bring La Rochelle back into it.
So I think that's 7 tries in 9 starts, something like that for Nini.
Something like that, yeah. But apparently he's a flop signing according to Rugby Drama. But
yeah, according to Rugby Drama. So this is a question that I asked to Adam, who is the Ulster presenter on the Interpro show, which you can also find here on Global Gameline if you're watching on YouTube or on the URC Rewind. I asked him, did the best team win? And before I tell you what he said, how would you answer that question?
I don't think the best team won. Mm. I'm not a stats person, as you know, but everybody's been putting them up. And La Rochelle were really the better team, but they got white line fever. They had so many mistakes, knock-ons, passes that just went astray. One of the Leinster tries was from a block down on West on the 5-meter line.
Mm.
There was so much that went wrong for them. Mind you, Leinster weren't much behind them, but La Rochelle's discipline was quite good. They didn't give away that many penalties at all, whereas Leinster gave away a lot of penalties.
Well, Leinster do give away a lot of penalties, and there's a video. I keep forgetting what her handle is, but it's something like the Rugby Girl or something. She's a Leinster fan. She gets press access to all the games and things, and she's made a video about Leinster giving away lots of penalties, which they do. But I haven't watched it yet, so I can't tell you what she said. But I'm going to watch it anyway. On the stats, I am a stats guy, as you know, Maz, and my initial thing was I agreed with you. I thought La Rochelle were the better team and they were unlucky. However, having visited the stats, I'm not sure I'm on that page anymore. Firstly, Leinster scored more tries. So generally speaking, you'd say the team that scores more tries is the better team. If you look at the 22 entries, 12 to 13 and 22 conversion, but there's not a lot in it. I think, and the more I looked at the stats, the more I was thinking, you know what? I think a 1-point margin sums it up well. I mean, the big difference is in the line breaks. La Rochelle got 12. And you could say that they should have converted more than that. If they've only scored 3 tries, depending on, a bit of creative maths, if you say they've only converted 1 in 4 line breaks into a try, that's not great. But I think that you have to give La Rochelle a lot of respect for how they went and put it on Leinster. They didn't try and just defend and smash and grab and kick 3-pointers. They really put it on them. Speaking of kicking 3-pointers, Nolan Ligarek was excellent off the tee. Some really, really good kicks. I got the sense that he was enjoying the game as well.
Yeah.
But the stats, a lot of the stats are quite close. I wouldn't pay too much attention to the missed tackles one for Leinster because they do miss a lot of tackles. That's just how the Jack Nunioba defense works. But the offload is the big difference. Look at that, Maz. offloads that Leinster allowed La Rochelle to have 41. That's
Yeah.
absolutely an incredible number of offloads. And that's what we're saying about La Rochelle haven't played like this all season. It was
No.
a bit of a bolt from the blue, this whole performance. But generally speaking, having looked at these stats, I think that a 1 point margin is just about right. Is just
Mm.
about right. And like I said, the team that scores the most tries, I think, wins. And I think La Rochelle were always chasing the game. In terms of star players, we've mentioned Lego Rek, but you have to talk about him again. What form he is in, Lavani
Mm.
Bossier.
Oh,
Wow. Everyone was,
yeah,
I think he got official player of the match despite being on the losing
he
team.
did. Yeah, he did indeed. He was extraordinary again, wasn't he, for his age and everything like that? He really was. He had a fantastic game. What can you say? And he also, somebody else that I want to mention is Semele Dunafuku,
Hmm.
the centre. He had also a fantastic game. Uh, he's 20, he's 21 in March. He's played with the French under 20s. The two of them played very, very well. Semele was born in Fiji, and he's actually from this town. So that's why I'm giving him a big thumbs up. But he had a huge game, and the poor lad was in tears on the pitch afterwards. I was almost crying watching him. Everybody in the bar was almost crying watching him. It was very emotional. Yeah, so the two of them were excellent. But yeah, 37 years old. What can you say? Just outstanding. But
I maintain that at the next World Cup, Fiji should get on the phone and say, what do you say, Lavani? One last rodeo because he's just sensational.
he's going to be 38, 39.
Yeah, but it's just like 4 weeks, however long it is. So I
Yeah,
don't know. I'd give it a go. I'd give it a
yeah.
go if it was me. So that was
But
the. Sorry, go on.
yeah, but one thing I want to say, Leinster didn't score for an hour. That's the worry. They came out and had the two tries in the first 10 minutes. They didn't score again until almost the 70th minute with Josh van der Fleer. And that's not.
Hell of a try though from him.
Oh, I loved that try. It was my try of that match. Absolutely loved it. Yeah. But yeah. Mm,
My my kind of thing with Leinster is that we always mock them and Irish teams in general for peaking at the wrong time and not
no, we
delivering when
don't.
it matters.
No, we don't. I don't mock Ulster.
Okay, sorry.
They never
Maz doesn't
peak at
mock
the right
Ulster.
time.
But the I don't the fact that they're looking a bit slow at this time of the season makes me a little bit worried about what they might look like at the end of the season because the
Oh,
coaches they've got and the players they got, I don't think they're going to stay bad for long.
no,
So,
and they were missing an awful lot of players. There was actually, I'll put my hands up, there's actually some of those players in that pitch that I didn't know who they were. I had to kind of Google them and go, who's this? Because I don't watch all of the URC games. I only watch a few. So I'm not 100% up to date with some of those players.
hmm.
So I have another thing to say about this game, though.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Rog didn't go for his press conference
You
afterwards.
didn't?
No, he didn't. And for the EPCR, you have to send one of your top coaches. So he sent his assistant coach. So he didn't turn up, which is very unlike him because he will always go to a conference and he'll, say it's not the team, it's me, and that a bad judgment, blah, 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 blah. And then he put out a tweet at about 2 o'clock in the morning, thanking all the Stade Rochelet fans for coming over, and we have to do better, and we'll all get together against Harlequins next week. Very, very
Well,
on.
maybe he's turned over a new leaf. Maybe this is probably the sensible thing for him to do.
Yeah, because he is in contract talks this week, apparently.
Oh, that is right, isn't he? Because
Yeah.
shout out Rugby Scoop was saying that he wants Rog to be the All Blacks attack coach.
Oh, good on him. Yes.
I
Hmm.
think you're welcome to him is the answer to that. No, I don't mean it. Oh, imagine what we'd have to talk about if Rog left La Rochelle. What would we talk about? Just half an hour of silence on the podcast. So moving on, because that wasn't
Hmm.
the only thing that happened. What else happened? I'm not sure what I'm going to show on the screen for this one. Toulouse lost again. So this is our
Oh,
Fanny of the week. Fanny being the French word for the team that got nilled or nil point or whatever it is.
hmm.
Toulouse 0 from 2 away from home in the Champions Cup for the first time since 2017.
Yeah.
And Maz, I'm assuming that there's been a colossal meltdown over there in France.
Oh, they are asking a lot of questions. They are. Ugo was actually quite kind of calm about it. He didn't lose the head. I've seen him lose the head a lot more over a top 14 game being lost than that. But it was away to Saracens, but it was also the manner of losing it. Saracens scored 3 tries in about 10, 12 minutes.
Saracens scored
Yeah.
a try
Before,
in the 29th, the 35th, and the 39th. And
yeah,
then they didn't score until a penalty kick in the 61st minute. And that was the only score they had in the second half.
yeah, yeah. So it wasn't great. A lot of their star players didn't turn up as
Antoine didn't do. I don't know if it's fair to say that Antoine Dupont didn't do anything in this match because I checked his stats, and if it's any other scrum half, you're like, yeah, it's fine. But because it's Antoine Dupont, you're like, wow, that's really nothing for him. And
yeah,
I think what it was that I really didn't expect, having looked at the stats, I've got to share the stats again. Stay calm, everybody. I'm sharing the stats again because I think that Saracens absolutely did a job on Toulouse physically. In fact, if I go to the defensive
yeah.
stats,
Go
9
into them.
dominant tackles to 5, most tackles made, turnovers 1, tackle turnovers 6 tackle turnovers. A tackle turnover is when you tackle someone and they drop the ball because you hit them so hard. Um, that's a level of physicality that they've showed, which is won them the
Mhm.
game at the end of the day. Now the conditions weren't great. Obviously, it's a plastic pitch. Toulouse 0 from 2 on plastic pitches. It has to be said.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and it was horrible weather, and I felt like Saracens just wanted it more. I have to say, Blair Kinghorn didn't play great at 10.
No, he didn't. Can I just say something about Toulouse? And I will say this forever. Forget Toupon. I'm missing Toupon. There's somebody else that they miss. Gonna miss, gonna miss, gonna miss. Juan Cruz.
Ah,
Yeah,
is it with his ACL?
yeah. He's out for the rest of the season. He's out all season. And he is a absolutely humongous loss. That's my opinion, because I think he's fantastic. And I think they miss him more than they miss other players.
So are
So
Toulouse now looking like they're going to be away in the round of
they are going to be away at this stage. And there is a scenario that I read today, and I was just falling about the place laughing, that they might never actually qualify. Um,
Oh, sorry, that is funny.
now, I wrote this down, so excuse me. Okay. They have Sale Sharks at home. Okay.
Okay.
So if they lose or if they draw to Sale Sharks, okay, one scenario. And if Dor Hollywood Bet Sharks
Hmm.
win against Claremont with a bonus point, which
Possible.
possible because Urias has said we're not going for a game, we're going for a stage, which is like a training kind of course. So
Oh, okay. Well, at least he's honest about it.
yeah, and then there's something good to do with points average. But if if they lose or draw with Sale Sharks and the other Sharks beat Claremont by a certain amount of points, Toulouse are out. So it's all about the Sharks. We just need a Sharks.
So what we're saying is it's Shark Week again. We thought it was Shark Week
No,
last week, but it's Shark Week
yeah,
again this week, and it's
yeah,
all about Stade Toulousain. Um,
yeah.
it,
So
it's
now,
a,
how much there is into that? It seemed to be pretty genuine. Somebody had done a lot of work, so I was going, yeah,
well, I can tell that for Toulouse, this is a big shock,
yeah,
and it's not what
yeah.
people were expecting at all. And the
No,
loss to Glasgow was one thing, but then to lose again to Saracens, to lose what's to say? To lose one is unfortunate. To lose two is careless.
so, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. It
it,
was, yeah, I found it a bit of a dull game. And the other thing that really annoyed me about this game, and this has to be a fanny for another reason, they were wearing white, which is fine. The numbers on the jerseys were white as
yeah,
well.
the commentator had a moan about that.
And I'm like, I thought it was me kind of looking at, there's something I'm not saying, but there you go. That's just me having a moment.
I don't like that white jersey that Toulouse have. Or
Yeah.
maybe they got confused because Saracens were Le Rouge et Noir in this one, and
Yeah.
they didn't know who to pass to.
Ah, could
And
have
we
been
had
that.
some Willis on Willis action. Are you excited
Yes.
for Tom Willis to come to UBB next season?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was very sorry when he left a few years ago because he had an excellent few seasons. So, looking forward to that. Yeah, that was good, wasn't it? To see the two brothers in action again.
Yeah. So I don't know. Part of me thinks that Toulouse will ultimately get it together.
Yeah.
But now that they've got to go away, if they've got, even if they don't, I think they will beat Sale Sharks. So if they go through, but they've got to play away from home, so
Mm,
they could end up having to go to Leinster, having to go to UBB, having to go to um, Cape Town. Can you imagine? Then
mm.
that's not a situation they want to be. I think they've opened themselves up to have the poorest European Cup campaign in a long time.
Yeah, but don't worry, when the playoffs come around in April, they'll be there. They'll be back on form again because they are kind of a end of season team. But as you say, but UBB bet them last year. So,
Mm.
you know,
And we shall be talking about UBB a little bit later in the show. But before we do, a couple of bits of notice. I have been promising for a couple of weeks that we would have a new audio platform for the Top 14 Digest set up. Very sorry that that's not been able to happen yet. Technical issues with our platform provider and things. We're working on it behind the scenes. Producer Lee is working on it. In the meantime, until that's up and running, I'm just going to keep uploading the audio to the same platform that it's been, the HG Rugby platform on audio. So Spotify and Apple, you search HG Rugby, you'll be able to find it there. That's where it's always been. As soon as the new audio platforms are up and running, then I'll post all the links to it. You'll know about it as soon as we do. So apologies for that, but the audio versions are still there if you want them. So in the meantime, just keep doing what you've always been doing. But those watching on YouTube, I beseech you to subscribe to the Global Gain Line. Our next goal is 1,500 subscribers. And if you like more than just French rugby, you can get South African Rugby Specialist Pod. You can get a URC pod, which is also like this one, covering the Champions Cup at the moment. You can get an Irish podcast as well, a specialist Irish podcast with voices from all four provinces, which I believe makes it unique. So search Global Gain Line on YouTube, hit subscribe, hit hype below, get involved in the comments down below as well. And we were really pleased with the reception that this show got on that channel last week. So looking forward to seeing where this journey takes us as we head uncontrollably towards the Six Nations, especially. All right.
Xmas, Sixmas,
Sixmas, yes.
Mm,
It's gossip time, Maz. It's time for the gossip of the
what's
week.
it?
Now,
Oh, mm.
tell us what you've got for us this week.
There's not an awful lot of gossip out there. But again, one of our favorites, Bernard Lemaitre, he is the owner of RCT Toulon. And he had an interview, a very long interview, with a newspaper this week. And it's about basically that within 5 years, he no longer wants Toulon playing at Mayol, that they need to.
Oh my God, Maz, sorry, I'm just going to interrupt you there. Breaking news.
Oh,
I,
what?
I'm shocked. It's lit. I was looking for something to share on the screen and it's just popped up. It's been reshared by our friend Leslie. Look, Huw Jones will depart Glasgow Warriors at the end of this season to join Toulon.
Huh?
The centre made his return from injury in Saturday's win away to Clermont-Auvergne. His first appearance since the 2025 British and Irish Lions Tour of Australia. And Huw Jones has just signed for Toulon.
That was kept pretty quiet,
That was
wasn't it?
quiet. I didn't hear a sniff of that.
No. And I was snooping around today on a Toulon website a fan site that I often snoop around in, and I didn't see a word of that. Oh, good,
Good,
good.
goodness gracious me! That's
Wow. Thank you,
their
Leslie.
Menoncello not replacement, because he never signed for them, but they wanted Menoncello and they didn't get him, so they've
Yeah,
signed Huw Jones instead. But they've got
yeah.
Brex, and Brex is a 13.
Oh, look, they've got a few 13s, don't they?
Yeah, I thought we'll get to it later, but I thought Sinzel played very well for them against Munster. But
Yeah, he's not a young chick either these days,
no,
so he's not. No.
wow.
Yeah,
Anyway, that's the
definitely.
first time we've ever had breaking news on the podcast. I'm very sorry for
No,
interrupting you, Maz.
no, we like breaking news. And I've got to say another positive about that. It's not Montpellier for all his teammates seem to be going these days. So yeah, that's
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
that's a good thing. Anyway, yes, he has decided that Mayol is no longer modern enough, and they are looking to build a new stadium, not a much bigger stadium, only about a 20,000 seater. And they're working with the council, and they're working with various, having interviews with various planners and things like that to go ahead. One of the problems is where Mayol is, it's more or less in the centre of town, and it can't be extended. Mr. Mack has been there, and you can walk from the train station down to it in about 10
So
minutes or something.
it's all about the capacity, is it? They want to get more people in.
It's not actually that. They need more money, and they're not allowed to do concerts because of where it is.
I see.
Yeah, because it's really not in the city centre, but it's in the city. They can't expand because one side you have the Palais de Congrès, and right behind is all those flats that you see everybody hanging out and watching the game for free. And so they can't expand. They're only really allowed to play rugby there. And every year he puts 5 to 10 million of his own money into the club to keep them.
He is the wrong side of 75.
Yeah, he is. He is not. What age is he? Did I write it down? He's about 77, I think. And for them to kind of break even, they need concerts. So they need to have a stadium further out of town.
Well, he's been chatting with Jackie L, has he?
Well, this is the other thing. Mayol, though, it's not going down well with fans because Mayol was built in the 1920s. It is an institution in the town and things like that. This is a pure economic look at things. He was also talking about he won't be there forever. Will he be there in 5 years? You know, even to see the completion of the stadium if it goes ahead, and trying to put into plans. He had 3 meetings apparently in the recent months with potential investors that might take over if something happens to him, but he felt they weren't rugbied enough. And he's looking for somebody who has their heart in rugby that's willing to put, well, what did he put in? 100 million over 5 years. You'd want to have a very deep pocket for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, like whenever the LNR financial reports get published, there's always one club that loses a boatload, and the smart money is that on being Toulon.
Yeah.
Ugh, and if they're going to build a stadium, wow, okay, that's not going to be cheap.
No, it's not going to be cheap. I know what he's talking about. It's very hard just to keep going with just rugby, but there you go. So yeah, but yeah, there's a few of those owners of clubs not the right side. Wild, is he 87, 85, 87 at Stade Francais? Jackie L at Racing is well into his 80s. He was hoping to pass on to the children. That doesn't seem, he's now sold La Défense. That doesn't seem to be happening. Altrad is late 70s, but his son has got involved with the club. So that will be a kind of a passover to the son if something happens there. But those 3, it's a big problem for the clubs if something happens to them. And we hope it doesn't, but you know.
That's just what happened to Biarritz. Their backer snuffed it respectfully, and that was the end of them.
So, So yeah. There you go.
So anyway, but speaking of Toulon, now let's talk about the Munster game. So that's how. Did you see that of the week, Maz? Is the penalty? Okay, so let's start about this. Now, I didn't see it kind of live, but I heard all about it first, and so I've watched it kind of not cynically, but I've kind of gone, is the fuss really about it? And this taking the space call that's gone against them, I have to say, I don't really remember ever hearing that before. So I can see why Munster fans are upset about this one.
Yeah, and even the French commentators, because I'm in France, I'm listening to it in French, they kind of went, what does that mean? So if French commentators are asking the question, what does that mean? They were a bit like, oh, a penalty? They weren't unhappy about getting the penalty, but they were a bit like, what's that for? And taking the space, and they were kind of, one of them speaks perfect English, so he could do the translation straight away. what's that about? So yeah, no. I think Munster are very harshly done by. Yeah. Dixon, though, for both teams, again, things were floored, to say the least. But yeah.
Yeah, he's a referee that inspires discussion, shall we say? But
Mm,
generally, a tight game. I think Toulon don't lose at the Mayol. They just don't,
no, no.
unless you're called to lose. Um, and
Yeah,
from the
Munster
highlights
did
that I
well.
saw, it seemed like a competitive game, but
Mm.
it's Toulon kind of got out a lead, and Munster left themselves with a mountain to climb. It felt.
Yeah, I watched it. I enjoyed it. Unfortunately, Typeborn got the yellow card, and did it cost them 2 tries? It definitely cost them one. Marius Damon got a try when he was off. Um, Munster then got a try towards the end, and they were leading in the about 75th minute. It was a very enjoyable game, but
Hmm.
yeah, that penalty just left a sour kind of taste, I think, for what would have been just a good game of rugby, you know?
It would have been a hell of a result for Munster to get that
Yeah.
because they've
Oh,
been not
yeah.
playing great lately as well.
Can I tell you that Mignoni, he was fairly chewing on the clipboard towards the end.
Clipboard watch, shout out Rosby. Mignoni clipboard watch, yeah. um, anyway, so that's the Toulon chat. So now we're moving on. Probably what people have been waiting for is to talk UBB. So Maz, UBB versus Northampton Saints. You were worried. I was worried. I thought, oh, this could be a bit nerve-wracking here, especially with Maxime Luku out. Has hurt his back,
Yeah.
or can't remember what it is. Um,
His knee.
his knee.
Mm.
Um, you thrashed them. You absolutely thrashed them. Like the scoreline flatters Saints.
Yeah, I'm not happy. I'm
Why?
actually not happy because to give away that bonus point at the end, I'm not happy.
Ah, it's
Not
UBB,
after.
Maz.
I know. What can you say? What an absolutely I mean, it started off pretty closely because you had Ryasi after 7 minutes getting
This is a
try
hell
from
of
the
a
loose
try. Look
pass.
at this.
Yeah,
This is his third one, I think.
that's his
Oh.
third one. Isn't that just yeah. Knocked him off. He's a bit of a unit, isn't he?
He was. We
Yeah,
all thought he was leaving a few weeks ago. The rumors
he
were
was.
that he was
Yeah,
off, and
yeah.
they've actually given him a contract extension. Now he's playing
Till
very
the age of
well.
28. Yeah. So I'm extremely happy about that, and everybody is happy about that. And then Pollock had tried more or less straight after, a few minutes after, and it was a gorgeous try too. To be fair, it was that try down the line,
He
and
enjoys being the bad guy, doesn't he?
he does, doesn't he? He plays up to it well, and for all everybody's saying all, and I know there's English commentators out there and journalists, and it's their job. They have to make this drama out of it and all of this kind of thing. But before the game, I'm not sure if people saw it in the UK, and that himself and Luco had their arms around other and talking like that. And a friend of mine who is just beside where I sit at the games normally, when Northampton came round, he got applauded. He actually got cheered, and they were actually shouting his name. He's that kind of devil that you kind of. I'm not sure if UBB had to lose, that would have been the same reaction. But
Mm.
so I think there's an awful lot of drama being made out of something. He didn't help himself by kind of shushing the crowd when he scored that try after about the 10th minute or something. That didn't help his case whatsoever. But,
Yeah, I like it though. I like it. But
yeah,
anyway, the reason that we're talking about UBB is
yeah,
it's our stat of the week is there was a
yeah,
double triple, two
yes,
hat tricks. One was Rayasi, as I just showed you. One is Waki that I'm going to come on to later. I wonder if he made
yeah.
the team of the week, the Opta team of the week that I've got in front of me here. Yeah, Cameron Woki makes it as well. I have to say, Cameron Woki owes Damien Penaud a drink because Damien Penaud should have had a triple in this game as well, but he kept passing the ball.
Just was like, oh, here you have it, kind of. You know what he's like, Penno. Yeah. Was that? Yeah, his first try. Yeah. Um, in the just before half time, and it all kind of came out of chaos. And Penno was like, "Oh, here you have it." So Waki was like, "Great," went over the line. And then just after half time, he got that intercept try. I don't know what Saints player did a goose step. When you do a goose step, it generally goes wrong. He did a goose step, and Waki just kind of, "Oh, I'll have that." And off he goes. And then 5 minutes later, he got his triple from Jalibert restart. And he was kind of like, oh, I have this. And then all you could see was the long legs going across, running
That's why
down
I'm
the line.
saying the scoreline flatters Northampton because UBB got to the 15 mark in 60 minutes and just kind of were like,
Yeah,
that was easy.
yeah, yeah. And then they took off certain players and the players that came on, you could see what was happening there, as well. But yeah, but yeah, I was super. I thought that was going to be. I honestly thought that was going to be a much closer game. I didn't think that they were going to do the job on them that they done.
The
So
pack was very impressive from the highlights that I saw. The scrum as well. Like we
mm,
talked about it. You see the Peno one there that I've just shown on the
yeah,
screen. Peno should have scored that every day of the week. But the pack I thought was impressive. The scrum, ever
mm,
since that I said that Big Ben only has one good scrum a season, he's been playing the house down.
I
Um,
know.
and
And, and he took
yeah,
about 7 or 8 players with him at one stage. I was going, will you calm down, Ben?
well, it's not something that you normally associate with UBB, but the pack has been very good these last few
Yeah.
games.
And a huge shout out to Carl Sedi. He had an extraordinary game. Oh, he was absolutely excellent. So yeah, yeah, big lad, big unit. And
Mm,
um, I was a bit worried about Pejerello as well.
I
Uh,
was worried.
yeah, he scored a beautiful try. It was gorgeous. I was kind of going, oh, he's too slow. He's too slow. Get it out there quicker. But he scored a beautiful try. So no, it all worked well. No complaints apart from the bonus point loss. But anyway.
Yeah, who got oh, Jacob Boomaga. I was just saying who got the Opta 10 of the week, and it was someone other than Matty Jellybear. There's clearly been a mistake. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, and Jellybear got a try as well because he just does because he's the
Yeah.
best player in the world at the moment. There, I said it.
Yeah. 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 He's on fire, isn't he? So yeah, he got his try just before he went off. So yeah, happy days.
That was
Happy
that was
days.
jolly
Shame.
good fun. Jolly good fun.
Yeah.
Okay, man. So you've got a choice to make now. Your Fijian of the week. You can either go for Lavani Bottia or Celeste Arasi, both players who have won the awards at least once each this season
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. And I could have given it to Bottia last week, but I've got to give it to Rayasi. I really have. It wasn't even just the fact that he scored the triplet, which really did help, but he's played 14 games with UBB, but he's played fullback, wing, and centre. So he's very, the
Yeah, but the time he played
around
centre
here.
wasn't serious, though, was it?
Not
Was he
really.
next to Penno? um, yeah,
And
he
the
has
two
been good.
competitions, he scored 9 tries. He's re-signed, and yeah, I'm very, very happy.
But
I
it,
always said, I've been saying for the last season or two, we need to be Fijian back at UBB. So
mm,
I'm very happy.
mm. I think if you're doing a Fijian of the season, though, I think that Lavani Botti is probably leading that just about.
Oh, he is. Yeah, because I said last week I could have given it to him, but I picked Yato from Perpignan because you
Mm,
probably wouldn't get to pick him that much. And I think even the week before I picked somebody else going, I've already had Levani twice this year. You can't have him every week. You try and, if you can, space it about a bit. But
mm.
he's just excellent. And he's also in talks because he's only contracted till the end of the year. And
Oh,
he's also in talks, apparently, to get an extension for a year. They'd be very stupid not to.
well, yes, unless he fancies going to Japan for a bit on silly money and
Yeah,
I can imagine Lavani Botti in the Japan second division, and just like every weekend you wake up to the highlights of like, oh wow, he's run 80 meters and then back again and then so
yeah.
I
But
could just
he's lived here for what, 10, 12 years, lived in La Rochelle for 10 years,
mm,
family growing up at school, things like that. They're older kids. It's different, I think, when you've got smaller kids and it's easier to move families around. Maybe he's quite happy where he is. So we
mm,
shall see. But
mm.
if he doesn't, I'm sure someone like Prodi Du Angalem, which is down the road from them, would be
Oh
quite happy
God,
to
yeah,
someone
can
like
you
him,
imagine?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so we've come to the end of the show. We don't do Champions Cup predictions. It takes too long. But just quickly, I'm sadly not able to go to Bristol versus UBB. I would have gone. However, I'm doing media at um I'm doing media at Northampton versus Scarlets. So I'm doing that instead. But I would have very much liked to have gone to Bristol versus UUB. I expect there should be tries in this game.
Oh, I'd imagine to be one or two. I'm a bit worried about this game too, I have to say, considering what the Bears done
Yeah.
against the Bulls. But it's a bit tight at the top there, isn't it? Yeah.
I've been looking for something to show you and I couldn't find it, but he's fallen off. So when you go, welcome everybody to the end of the podcast. When you go to do media at these things, so you'll have seen obviously at the games where they get the air cannons and they shoot the little zebras into the crowd.
Mm.
So when you go and do the media in the media room, at least there was at Harlequins last week, they leave zebras out for you to take.
Oh,
So I've got an Investec zebra.
what? That's that's brilliant. I've just realised something.
What?
There was no zebra at the UBB Scarlets game.
Oh yeah.
I've
Well,
just
it's funny you
realised.
should mention that actually, because I was on the Scarlets pod last night, and Pringle, who goes to all of the Scarlets games, he says that at the park he's never seen a zebra. So maybe it's a Scarlets thing. Maybe the Scarlets have objected to zebras.
Who knows?
We'll have to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah,
I'm going to be at the Scarlets game next week, so if there's no zebra there, then I'll know something's up. Anyway,
yeah.
but the most fun thing about this is because there was loads all over the media room, and I asked a photographer, "Hey, is there a limit on the number of zebras you can have?" And he said, "I haven't seen a sign," and promptly picked up 5 and put them in his bag. So I've got this one. I've also got one up there as well.
Excellent. Oh yeah, I can see his little feet.
Yeah. So I'm going to my fiance works for a hospice. So I'm going to just give it to that.
Lovely, lovely. Yeah. Yeah, we should have been seen at that end of that Scarlets UBB game, Penno and company up on a zebra, but
The zebra
there was no
what-
zebras.
and the what do they call them? Bucket hats.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Maybe it's not done in France because of some kind of rights or something. Because remember when England and France took over the European Cup and had their laws? Maybe it's something got to do with that. I don't know.
I don't know either. And then Luku got the zebra related injury where he wasn't injured when the game finished, but by the time he got back home to Bordeaux, he was injured. And everybody assumed it was Damien Penno's fault. Anyway, that's us reaching the end of the show. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Subscribe to the Global Game Line. We want to get to 1,500 subscribers. And that just leaves me to say, merci beaucoup to Madame Maz.
Avec plaisir, Huw.
Merci beaucoup to everybody for watching / listening. We're working on the audio platform. It will be fixed one day, and you'll find out when it is. Enjoy the rugby, and I hope that everybody's team wins. Bye-bye.
Bye.